Well, Coach, obviously coming off the 49-21 win at Georgia Tech, looking at your running backs, I know a few guys played. What did you like about their performance, and are there some areas that you'd like to see improve going into next week?
I mean, as a coach, always, I mean, you're never done coaching, so always areas of improvement, always a bunch of good film, make the corrections, try to improve the next week. The biggest thing that came out of it, man, I was proud of the way everyone competed. Thought the guys played tough. They're physical. A bunch of transition, running to the football. We didn't have issues with ball security and things like that. I was really proud of how the guys just really competed. Hadn't played in a long time. No traditional spring, no traditional summer. Haven't played a real game since December 23rd of last year. Guys came out, man, tempo was rolling. Guys didn't get tired. I think there was a little bit of the adrenaline rush in the beginning. And there was, guys get a little bit winded. That's normal. I remember that as a player, but I was just really proud of the way the guys competed and played hard. I didn't expect anything less, but you never know. I haven't played in a while.
Anthony, you talked about a little bit about your running backs. Otis Anderson in particular, obviously a guy with some senior leadership. How big was his performance coming back in his final season?
Well, he's done it time and time again. So he's as dependable as it gets. I didn't expect anything other than what he did. And yeah, we've all seen it week in and week out over the last 3 years. So I was pleased with how he played, competed. He was, physical, trying to get guys on the ground, sharp with assignments and things. There weren't any busted assignments or anything like that. I was really proud of Otis, but I'm proud of Otis every day.
Anthony, as a running backs coach, what did you think of Dillon Gabriel's ability to run? And as a running backs coach, do you give him any advice or anything like that on his ability to run and what he can do during the game?
Absolutely. The thing is when Dillon came here, what we were doing is a little bit different in the run game than what he was used to. And he's gotten progressively better with what we asked our quarterbacks to do in the run game. You started to see it really at the midpoint last year with some of the read option things that we do. He's gotten bigger, stronger. His body's maturing. He's bigger. He's stronger, he's faster. The thing that we preach every day is ball security, something that we emphasize. We haven't had a huge issue over the last 3 years with ball security. Hope that doesn't change, but it's something that we emphasize every day. So as coaches, as a staff, all of us are coaching those guys. It might be Coach Ellerby one day to remind Dillon or a tight end to keep that ball tight, keep that elbow down, keep that wrist up, things like that. It's just something that we talk about every day.
Coach, to the subject of pass blocking, which among your running backs do you guys trust the most in pass blocking pickups? And I guess another question off of that is, who has made the most strides in that area?
Well, I trust all those guys. The guys you saw on Saturday. Trust all those guys. You don't really put guys out there that you don't trust, right? I think they've all made huge strides in protection. And really it's a matter of understanding the protection and pre-snap, being able to see the field. When you come in, a lot of everything that running backs are seeing is really, really, really narrow. And as they develop and they learn more about schemes, they learn more about protections, they start seeing past the first and second level. You start seeing the structure of things. It really kind of takes a little bit of the noise out of where your eyes should be. If a running back has 3 different points where his eyes need to be pre-snap, but the defense can dictate whether or not that's even a possibility. So sometimes the running back's eyes only need to be in one place, and the further along they get in their development, the easier it gets. The game starts to slow down for them. If you're talking about somebody that's really, really improved in protection and understanding the scheme would probably be Demarius Good, being that he didn't play last year. Going into his second year, he's really developed it and starting to understand things a little bit better. So,
Coach, we saw a little bit of Demarius Good and Johnny Richardson towards the end of the game. Just kind of talk about the development those guys have been making, and should we expect to see them more in these future games coming up?
I think so. Those guys are coming along really well every day. Every day is an opportunity for those guys to take a step forward, learn from the guys that are in front of them, learn from the guys that are in the room with them every day. I don't coach those guys any different than I coach, the guys that have been here. But I was really excited to see those guys, get their first action in the backfield. They were excited about it. The guys in the room, guys on the team were excited about it. But they've seen those guys in practice over the summer and seen the development of Goody. Have seen how Johnny Richardson has handled being here through camp, being that this is his first year. I think there's a ton of ability, and I think the future kind of got a little bit of a taste and glimpse of what the future will look like here next, in the coming weeks and into the next coming years.
Coach, what do you see from East Carolina? Obviously they haven't played a game this year. What do you expect from them, and what can you guys do maybe with the running game to help out in that game?
Well, what we do every week, we're just, our thing is we're going to make people try to match, our intensity, our tempo, our physicality, things like that. The thing that I've learned about ECU in the last 2 years, those guys play really, really hard. That first year we went up there, I don't know if we played a defense that played harder than those guys. Last year, they really slowed us down in the second half, and I think they came out feeling pretty good about how they finished that game. They had a little bit of a slow start, but knowing their coaching staff, the reputation of their head coach, knowing the personality and of those guys on that team, they're fast. They've always been fast. The guys on the first and second level are some of the fastest guys we've seen in the last 2 years. Guys run and hit. They're going to be ready. So, we have a ton of respect for those guys just because they've played us really hard the last 2 years.
Anthony, it kind of looked like Greg McCrae got a little beat up there a couple times. I don't know exactly what was wrong, but how is he doing this week, and what do you expect to see him against ECU? How do you think he'll do?
Greg's been great. Greg said, had a great practice yesterday, had a great practice today. I thought we had one of our best practices yesterday. Since we came back, just came off the practice field now. Things are clicking. We got 2 more days of preparation, and we'll get ready to go Saturday.
Hey, Coach, with all the flexibility you have in the backfield, is there any type of, quota or goal for touches for each guy, or maybe a percentage of touches that you want to get each guy, or is it all just, based off of individual situations and like game flow?
The way our offense is built, there's a lot of different ways to get everyone the football. We don't set quotas. There's coaches, if a guy that is dynamic isn't touching the ball, then that's our fault. But generally, we don't have any issues getting guys touches that need to get touches. And if for whatever reason it does, come up that, hey, so-and-so hasn't touched the ball or whatever, then we can go from there. But generally, we don't have any issues getting guys the ball. And you never know with what we do offensively. Sometimes, I guess the defense probably doesn't know where the ball is going. So we kind of like to keep it that way.
Coach, with what everyone has gone through over the last 6 months to get to the point to play college football, was it emotional just being out there and obviously getting the win? But what were kind of the emotions? Was it different than maybe a normal season opener, just knowing that for a time there was a question of whether, we'd even have a season?
I don't know if emotional is the right word, but I think there was a huge sigh of relief. Once we left the hotel and we actually got to the stadium and started getting ready for warm-ups, I think it was a sigh of relief, and then the excitement really just took over. There's been a ton. Obviously, there's been a ton of things in 2020 that have challenged us all emotionally and physically and things like that. I think it was more or less, taking a deep breath now and just kind of letting it out and just ready to go. Ready to go do what you love to do. Opportunity for me to do what I love to do. And obviously, we know this thing is really fragile, so just kind of taking advantage of the moment, as they come.
Okay, thanks, Coach. Thank you, everybody, and we will be back with Otis.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.